What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Sunday, May 18th, 2025. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet, head to Pickdawgz.com. Click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. It's a great time to do so. We got a lot of action on the board on Sunday. We've obviously got NHL playoff action, NBA playoff action, a full slate of Major League Baseball, and WNBA as well. So make sure that you jump on board over there. Remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. We're also in the hunt for 250,000 subscribers here on our YouTube channel. I appreciate each and every single one of you that not only tune into the Wraparound, but have subscribed and help us to get to where we are today. We would not be where we are without you. So thank you so much for that. But if you haven't already, please, again, subscribe to our channel. Help us reach that milestone. But we're here to talk about the lone game on Sunday's NHL card. It's the two most exciting words in sports. Game 7. Let's not wait any longer. You guys know the drill. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. The lone game on Sunday's card comes to us from Scotiabank Arena, where the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers duke it out in Game 7. Now, with the wraparound, I normally like to take an objective approach to it. I like to, try to be as neutral as possible. Obviously, you can look over my shoulder and see I don't know how possible that is going to be. So, if you don't want to hear sort of my fan breakdown of it, you can sort of just skip ahead. The pick will come up across the screen, the bottom of the screen. But if you do want to stick around, well, you're going to be in for a bit of a treat. Because I am going to go for a little bit of a tangent, a bit of a longer talk about this game. Because realistically, if you guys have watched the morning show, you know I've been invested in this series. I've caught it from both sides. People in support of Toronto, people just picking the Panthers, whether it's to rattle me or you're actually Panthers fans. I don't know. So you can see I've got a little bit of skin in this game. Now, Game 6, a lot of folks were in the comment section of the wraparound saying Panthers all day. Panthers all day. It's Leafs gonna Leaf, whatever. And I said, be careful, because this is kind of what the Leafs do. They have let's face it, they shit the bed in an important game. They still have another chance to get it back. And usually in the chance they get to get it back, they show up and they play well. And they had the Leafs the picture perfect way that you had to win Game 6 going on the road. Not only did they win it on the road, they shut down and they shut out the Florida Panthers in their own building. Don't get me wrong. As a Leafs fan, I'm sitting at the bar watching the game shitting bricks because it's a 0-0 game through the first 40 minutes. Now, the Panthers, they did everything they could. And for the better part of the series, they have done what they've had to do. They've neutralized a lot of the core four. They've forced the Leafs for, at least the majority of the games where Florida was having the upper hand in the series. They were forcing the Leafs to play outside. They were forcing the Leafs to take shots from the blue line and take the shots from the sides. And just like I said, keeping them on the boards, not allowing things to get, gross in front, where they were trying to get traffic in front of Sergei Bobrovsky, and there was a game where they rattled Joseph Woll, and that was a game they won 6-1. But the thing that stands out for me with the Maple Leafs is that you want to talk about the Maple Leafs under Craig Berube this season versus what they've been with Sheldon Keefe the last 4 years. The term that Craig Berube has thrown around a lot this season, and I'm just saying this being in this Toronto media market, the word that Berube has thrown around is buy-in, because he's wanted his team to buy into his system. New coach, new system, new play style, new mentality, and the Leafs have done that. If you need proof of that, look at what the Leafs did in Game 6 in terms of blocked shots. 31-10, they outblocked the Florida Panthers. The Panthers had two first period shots on goal in Game 6. They had as many shots on goal in the first period as they did power plays in Game 6. That tells you where the Leafs' minds have been at. They had just 9 high danger chances in Game 6. Normally, I don't believe in the analytics into the game within the game, the analytics part of it, where you talk about Corsi and high danger chances and expected. I normally just go with goals against, save percentages. I'm a very traditionalist, capper when it comes to stuff like that. But The Leafs shut down the Panthers in that game. The defense pairings had 21 blocked shots, and only 5 Leafs in that game 6 did not have a blocked shot. Again, you want to talk about buying in. Blocked shots in the series. Toronto, 142. Florida, 60. Yes, you could say Florida's getting chances and they're trying to put pucks on net, but Toronto is selling out. They're getting in front of the puck, which is not something they've done in the past. They even outblocked the Panthers 24-9 in that Game 5 blowout loss. Yes, the Panthers had pressure on the Maple Leafs, but they were still throwing their body in front of the puck. Now, we can't forget the other part of this, the goaltending. Sergei Bobrovsky is a fantastic goaltender. He's a world-class goaltender. He is the defending Stanley Cup champion winning goaltender. But the thing is, Joseph Woll, we can't forget, he shows up in these big games. Last game, we saw Joseph Woll have the shutout. In 5 games when he's faced elimination, Woll, 4-1, a 1.13 goals against average, a .958 save percentage, and that's with around 28.2 shots against per game. I came into that wraparound after Game 5 saying, if you didn't need proof that Stolar should replace Joseph Woll, there it was. But then I realized watching Game 6 how stupid I was for thinking that, because I remember it's Woll when he has his back against the wall that decides to show up and play well. And like I said, you can see with those numbers, he shows up in the big games. Remember last year, or maybe you don't, people seem to conveniently forget that the Leafs were down 3-1 in their series to Boston. They made the switch in Game 5 from Ilya Samsonov, who was struggling, to Joseph Woll, and Woll was outstanding. Woll, last start, again, I mentioned the first Leaf goalie with a shutout in an elimination game since 2002 when Curtis Joseph did it against Carolina. Now, why is that significant? Because, like I said, Woll almost did it in Game 6 last year where he was outstanding. It was 2-0 Leafs for the majority of that game against Boston, but he gave up a goal on a scrum in front of the net with 2 seconds left when Boston rushed the net, and Woll got injured in that game, forcing Samsonov to go back into the crease in Game 7 when Joseph Woll missed it. Now, Samsonov went back in and he played well, but Toronto lost in overtime. If Woll plays there, who knows what would happen? Bottom line is, goalies have bad games. Andrei Vasilevsky, one of the best goaltenders in the world, had a few against Florida. Does that mean he's a bad goalie? Hell no. And I will admit, Austin Matthews has been criticized for not showing up on the big stage, but he had that breakthrough in this series. You could see he got the monkey off his back in Game 6. And that, I think, was to give him some fuel going into Game 7. John Tavares has a history of winning and scoring in big games. Like I said, I've talked consistently during these playoffs about how I think the Leafs feel different under Craig Berube, and that's the God's honest truth. The Leafs were 0-4 in winner-take-all games under Sheldon Keefe. Lost 3-0 to Columbus in the COVID year. 3-1 to Montreal in 2021 after being up 3-1 in the series in that weird realignment season where fans weren't in attendance. 2-1 in 2022 against Tampa where they led 3-2 going into Game 6, and then the 2-1 loss last year after battling back from 3-1 down in the series. 3 goals in 4 games in winner-take-all situations under Keefe. Craig Berube, he's coached in 3 Game 7s, and 2 of them were in that Blues Cup run in 2018-19, including Game 7 to win the Cup. There's a different aura with Berube with this team. A level of calmness and poise that wasn't there with Keefe. Keefe felt as much like a deer in the headlights as much as this Leafs team did in those games. Berube just seems like a calming presence, and there's a belief within this team that they can do this. They know what's coming from the defending Cup champions. There is no overconfidence or look ahead here. The past Leafs would have been intimidated coming into this game. Berube's team feels prepared. That's the only word I can think of here. Prepared. They know that they're in for a war, and the Panthers are every bit the defending Stanley Cup champions that they have shown up to be. Don't get me wrong, I hate them with a passion. I think they're rats. But sometimes you have to be rats at this point in the year to do your job. The Leafs know when they're in for a war. They're going to be the most prepped, I think, for a high-stakes playoff game in the Core 4 era. Call me a fanboy. Call it what it is. I'm taking the Maple Leafs on the money line here. This is their chance to defeat that narrative. Again, it is a narrative that the Leafs don't do it in Game 7. Well, you know what happens? It only takes one to break that narrative. And I think that's what they do here. I think that the city is going to be in a frenzy. The city and the fans gave the Leafs their shit kicking throwing jerseys on the ice in Game 5, and rightfully so, they deserved it. But again, the Leafs showed up in Game 6, got that respect back. I think Game 7 is going to be rocking, and while the Panthers won't be rattled, I think it's going to fuel the Leafs here, and it's going to be a tight game. It is going to be a nervy game on both sides, whether you're a Leafs or a Panthers fan. But in the end, I think the Leafs win Game 7 and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So give me the Maple Leafs on the money line in what should be a hell of a game. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Again, if you like this content, I hope you guys do. Please smash that thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. And remember to use the promo code PICK at checkout for 15% off your purchase. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys.